We've actually put together a couple of slides here to help our discussion. So what I'm going to do is, Megan and I worked on two cases where our person George, who's a software developer, he has an idea to develop some applications for iPhones and Android software and take that to market. And we know that that's very, very popular. George has developed a business case, and we'll take a look at George here. So this is George. George has put together a business plan. He says he needs $10,000. Right now, all he has available is $8,000 in his retirement fund. So Megan, George comes to you. How do you respond to him?
Well, there's a lot of different issues that we have to look at with George. George is asking for $100,000. And one thing that we know about George is he has paid off all his student loans.
Okay.
Also that he has really good credit, a great business plan, and a long time experience in the business.
So you're going to give George his money?
There's two things that are missing from George's equation.
Okay.
And that's cash and collateral. The bank, we are not investors. We are here to help the client bridge that gap. And unfortunately, he's asking for $100,000. But with the service industry that he's in, such as development or software development, there are no tangible assets.
Right. There isn't a factory. There isn't machines. There aren't trucks.
Correct. So then what we have to look at is him personally. Does he have any assets personally? Is he working? Is he going to be working full time and doing this on the side? Or is he really going to take this and go with it and work full time? If that's the case, again, he's looking at the bank as an investor, both personally and for the business, because he has no incoming income right now from either him personally or the business.
I mean, the nice thing relative to this situation with George is that he is a talented software developer. This is something he could start, at least from a prototype point of view or from a initial proposition, maybe do part-time while he still worked.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in the meantime, what I might suggest to him if he did come to me in this scenario, that right now, this would be a good opportunity to maybe ask friends and family for an investment, or a separate investor to come in. And what I always tell my clients, if they are going out there and seeking funds and asking friends and family, present the business plan as if you are presenting it to the bank. You do the projections, go through the whole gamut so they understand that you're serious about this.
Yeah, so you do need to have a business plan, and actually a banker and somebody at Score can help you with a business plan, because as you start talking to your friends and family or other types of investors, the better your business plan is right at the beginning, the better opportunity you have to engage people. And, how can a bank help somebody like George even in his business plan?
We'll definitely review the business plan, review the projections, make sure they're accurate towards that type of business. I've seen hundreds of different business plans and different projections. And if I don't have it in my portfolio, we can definitely go to one of the business development centers, check with their research, again, just to make sure all the numbers are, in order and they are appropriate to that type of industry.
Good. So we're going to look at George 12 months later.
Okay, well, what kind of question is that?
So 12 months later, we'll go ahead and get the slide going here. So 12 months later, George has actually gotten married. He has put some money away. He has $20,000 of cash. He's approached his Uncle Bob with the great business plan that he's working with the bank and his Score person. Done a little bit relative to his retirement account, but gosh, Megan, this adds up to $30,000, $40,000, $60,000, $70,000.
I'll put you on the air in just a minute.
So he comes back to you and says, Megan, I listened to what you said. I've got an outside investor. I've saved some money. How do you feel about helping George now?
We would definitely take a look at George, and again, he has filled in the gaps that he was lacking prior to. One is the collateral aspect, because he does now have a little bit of collateral in his house. The funding aspect, he did get outside funds, and the most important is the cash that he's putting into the business, or what we call equity injection or cash injection into the business. The bank really likes to see that because it's not only the bank's risk anymore, it's also the client's risk. George is at risk as well.
Well, you were saying that also by having $20,000 now into the business, that helps him qualify for some SBA funding?
Right. Generally with the SBA, in some of their programs, and I'm not going to get into detailed with their different programs, require at least 10% cash injection of the non-borrowed funds, meaning it can't come from credit cards, investments, or credit cards or home equity lines of credit or any of that sort. So basically, we want to see cash out of pocket into the project. So basically, that helps him qualify, again, maybe as for an SBA guarantee.
George, taking this year, put together a plan where he put that money away to save for his business. He found a outside investor, kind of listened to you and did the friends and family type thing.
Right.
Now, we have George's cash, we have Uncle Bob's $30,000, we have $10,000 in home equity, we have $10,000 in retirement fund. That's $70,000. So the bank, with a good business plan, might be now more disposed to giving a little bit of a loan.
Yeah, we wouldn't take in consideration the retirement fund because we can't lend against that, basically, because if it's an IRA or a 401k, we cannot hold that as collateral.
Okay.
However, again, that could be if he wants to take it all out, pay taxes and that sort, he could. But again, that would be very, very last case scenario on that.
One of the things that's interesting is not only will a bank lend you money in this situation, but now that there's money coming from different people, a bank can really help you managing all those different kinds of funds and help track it for the different investors.
Yes, because basically if it's an SBA loan, everything has to be tracked of where the money has been and how it's been used. So that would be a good avenue. Also, again, because the bank is involved, I think it's a little bit more sound for the investor because, again, the bank is lending money to this person as well.
One of the things when we work with people as far as developing business plans, and this whole idea when you're starting a business in looking at friends and family is pretty important, and even your own money. If you noticed in our interim here, George had gotten married, and now with the bank there and the money coming into essentially a central point, all of these people have a resource that they can use as far as tracking the money and, to some degree in a professional manner reporting to it, because when you are dealing with friends and family and their money, having an intermediary is pretty important.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, Mark.